everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host, Superman, in the house. Yeah, boy. Welcome once again to another show. All right, so you guys enjoying yourself out there? Hey, look, it's bearish times. We know that. It's volatile times. We know that. But it's a good opportunity to buy lots of volumes of the favorite tokens that you love. And, of course, that's cool too. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into the crypto markets, the stock market. We're going to get into the Fed Reserve coming up just briefly. We're going to be talking more about that tomorrow, really. We've got the Maximus team of perpetuals minting day 16. We've got that. So pretty sure it's 16. Yeah, 16. And yeah, we're coming up to the end of that, actually. And of course, yeah, probably what, about 6 days to go, more or less, with that. So we're going to talk about that. X daily stats coming up later on. We're going to look at a little Richard Alpha little bomb from Richard. I think it's a little one. So we're going to look at Richard's little Alpha bomb this morning. It's a little tiny baby one, but we'll take it. So let's have a look at all that. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Get into the chat, say hello. Let's see who is in the house today. And of course, we got Crypto Dan. Hello, guys. Looks like you're first there. Ted Nelson as well. Hello, all. Good to see you, Ted. A pleasure as always. Both Hex Token General members represented. And we've got Pulse X win there. Hi, all. Can we shed some light on the other Ethereum chain? ETH Fair, was it? I missed the memo. Just curious about what it's about. I'm going to have a briefly talking about ETHW and ETH Fair. So ETF there. We'll have a quick talk about that. And I'll give you just a quick guide there on how to add that to your MetaMask. And you can see all your airdrops on the other side of the wallet there. We'll talk about that later. Thank you, Hex Token, for your dedication and hard work. You're great. I appreciate that. Go Pulse X win. Yep, 2 live streams a day, Pulse X, Pulsechain, and a Hex, and of course all the cool tokens on top of that that are helping the ecosystem. Generally speaking, we do cover a few speculative assets out there, but you know it's not too bad. KD in the house there. Hey, Hexkins, let's go, says KD. Absolutely. We follow the Superman like the sheep, says Dave Dunner. No, you're not sheep. You're all critical thinkers. No. That's not how we roll here. Bro, I am a sheep, says Jana. No sheep. No sheep. You guys got a critical thinking. Brennan says, hey, all, be careful using FTX. Bad news to be announced in November. Very bad for DeFi and the rest of the market, says Brennan. And, of course, Davis in the house there. Good to see Davis in the house. Brian as well. What's up, boss? Everybody, good to see Brian, our community lead in our syndicated channel there. Very cool. All right, let's get into it. I think we're pretty much done the intros. Welcome, everybody. Let's get into it. The stock market today. Dow slides as a focus shifts to hawkish Fed. No surprises there. You know, I mean, we get the, you got the big Fed coming up for 21 days. We've probably been talking about for 2 months, right? Since the last increase back in July. So here we've got the markets today. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial top 30 industrials of the United States down 313 points or 1%, and it's sitting at 30,706. We've got the S&P 500 down 44 points or 1.1%, and that's sitting at 3,855. We've got NASDAQ down 110 points, just below 1%, which is actually a bit softer, right? That's a bit better for a lot of the tech companies in the NASDAQ there, so that's a bit less. That's nice to see. We've got the dollar index there up slightly, up 0.4%, or 45 points there to 110 points, basically. 110 there on the index. Let's have a look at the commodities. We've got the crude oil West Texas there up down $1 at $83.63, and Brent oil there down $90.91, down 2 cents there, and that's still open at the moment as the market there. Gold is up to $3 basically, up to 1,674. Remember it was over 1,800 not so long ago. And of course, silver there is up 8 cents there at $19.26. And soybeans they're up 1%. So that's pretty much that for the market. Let's get into some of the commentary. The Dow, unfortunately, it's mostly orange or red, which red's bad. Orange is somewhat bad. So there's lots of that today, unfortunately. But there's always that's because we've got the Fed Reserve interest rate coming up. We're going to talk about that in a second. The Dow fell Tuesday as investors upped their bearish bets on stocks on fears the Federal Reserve may signal that aggressive rate hikes will likely continue. And this is what I've always said. So if we have rate hikes this month, then November, and then of course we end up getting around 4% on the federal funds rate, somewhere in there. That's one thing. But if we have interest rate rises into the 2023, and of course, because inflation holds, they want to target that inflation rate, then at least into early 2023, then that is negative for the market. So because obviously the market's generally going to be inversely related to the interest rate rises. We've been in a long super cycle extended period of relatively low cheap money, and now it's getting more expensive. And of course, you're going to see cracks coming out in the property markets, the stock markets, the crypto markets, etc. That's why we watch it so closely. The Fed kicked off its 2-day meeting on Tuesday, and many expect that a decision to raise rates 75 basis points will likely be announced and followed up with a guidance that will show the central bank's willingness to persist with the front loading of rate hikes to combat inflation. My only question about this is the November rate hikes, whether they'll soften them down, maybe 50 basis points. Now, that would be a bit of a surprise, but because the midterms are coming up, I think about 50 days from now, that's why I think. So I don't see this. The bank's supposed to be neutral, but of course, when I see some of their recent policies come out, they basically reflect some of the administration's policies, and so it doesn't look neutral to me. So that's why I'm just wondering about that. We'll see whether we do get another 75 basis points, which what I would normally expect, but we'll see whether we get a bit softer there. The Fed's willingness to keep the tightening monetary policy has returned focus toward the growing threat of an economic recession or landing, and that's what we're going to be looking at here in red. Clearly, the risk is stacked towards exacerbating the slowdown into a hard landing. That is by far the bigger risk at the moment, and it increases with every rate rise into the slowing growth environment. And of course, that's from founder and CEO there of Granite Shares. The bond market, meanwhile, continued to signal the risk of a larger recession as ongoing inversion in a key part of the Treasury yield curve deepens to levels not seen in more than a month. The 2-year Treasury yield over the 10-year Treasury yield, inverted to near 50 basis points. The deeper inversion in the yield curve pressured banking stocks with Synchrony Financial and State Street Corp and US Bancorp down more than 2%. Consumer discretionary stocks, so moving from this to bank to this consumer stocks here, were one of the biggest drags on the broader market, weighed down by a 12% rout in Ford Motor Company, and of course a more than 5% slump in General Motors. Obviously, two of the maybe 3 or 4 biggest car producers in the US. Ford warned on performance following a $1 billion hit in the third quarter from rising supply costs. There's the old supply chain issues there. Now, I do think in terms of consumer discretionary, there must be plenty of firms out there profit gouging, using inflation as an excuse to increase their margins. So I bet there's quite a few firms out there doing that. They're very sneaky with that sort of stuff. Oh, yes, we've had to pass on inflation. We had to raise our prices, fueling more inflation. We had to raise our prices. And look at this. Our quarterly profits are looking good. They look a bit better than they were last time. It's because they're profit gouging. Sometimes. So I bet there's a bit of that going on. So cool. Tech, however, was one of the relatively outperforming sectors on the day, down just 0.6%. As Apple added gains from a day earlier. Now, we talked about that the other day, obviously, when they launched their new iPhone 14. Apple rose more than 1% after TF International Securities Analyst Ming-Ching Q, I guess, said that the higher margin iPhone 14 Pro models are attracting increased demand that could boost iPhone revenue and average selling price. Remember, this was after the iPhone 13 didn't do as well in sales because they think the people weren't ready to upgrade, and that they thought that maybe the iPhone 4 cycle in terms of demand, people would want to be upgrading. So that's some of the issues around there. Let me know if you've actually upgraded to an iPhone 14. If you're a bit of an Apple Maxi, let us know in the chat there. It'll be pretty fun to see. All right, cool. That is pretty much the stock market. So basically, we're waiting for the Fed, and here we are. Here's the Fed countdown. So hopefully you can see that. Let me zoom in on that a bit there. We've got 18 hours to go and 19 minutes. The next FOMC meeting is in. And, of course, we're going to have the interest rate announcement coming out after that too. So there we are. This countdown, 18 hours and 9 minutes to go. We're counting it down. And, of course, this is pretty much dictating a lot what's happening with market valuations and volatility, just the way it is at the moment. Target rate probabilities for a 21st September meeting. And of course, we've got currently 82% in this particular survey here on CME Group, 82% looking at a 75 basis point rise. That would take the federal funds rate up to 300 to 325 points there. So, 3% to 3.25. We've got 18% here down at 375 to 350 on the federal funds rate. 3.25 to 3.5%. As I said, if we have a second rate rise in November, if it's 75, that'll get us up to, 4% on the federal fund rate. Now, the question is, do they stop there? And we will see. And like I say, I think there's an outside chance there that they may do a softer one at 50 basis points, depending on how they're trying to influence the election. All right, cool. I said it. There I said it. All right, cool. All right, so cool. There we are. That's if you don't believe me, just look at some of their policies that they've been doing recently. It looks like they're not neutral at all. All right, so let's drive into something. Let's see what other comments we've got going in the chat here. So that is pretty much the stock market and the Fed. We're going to jump into the crypto markets now. So hopefully that's cool. I can't believe you wrote that. Dave says, we follow Superman like sheep. Says Dave. That's a terrible. Anyway, I'm a sheep, says Shane. I thought that was pretty funny at the beginning there. Vance Malone says, I have been mining Ravencoin for the past year. I used to get about 50 a week. Now I barely get one per day because of the ETH miners jumping aboard. Yeah, it was an ETH Classic, Ravencoin, obviously, ETH W, which is pretty. The mining, I watched a miner set up his rig, just a YouTuber, with the mining, and he set up a rig for ETH W. He hardly got any ETH W with his little mining rig. I'm not sure how, I can't remember how many, how much power, ETH hash power he had there, but that was, pretty funny. Brennan says, hey, all, be careful using FTX. I think we covered that one. And we got Dave down in, I'm in buy soon. I'm in buy soon, says Dave. Hex Hodl in the house. Hey, all, good to see Hex Hodl. Proof of stake ETH didn't improve gas at all. Just like Richard said, says Hex Hodl. And I have morphed into a lion, says Shane. Nice one, Shane. Morphed from sheep to lion. I like that. Yeah, be a lion. Proof of Shemitah. I didn't know what Shemitah is. I know that our dear friend over there has been covering it. What else there? Vance Malone says, I think the market already factored a 75 basis point increase, but there are rumors they may go to 100, and there are rumors many may go to 50 because of midterms. That's what I said. That's what I've been saying. Yeah, but it looks like most people are in the camp. 4 out of 5 people think that that's going to be the 75 basis points. We'll see on there, but definitely around the election. Proof of what else there we got? Wookie says Wookie having lamb chops from dinner. That's more like it. I like the lion analogy there. Machiavelli in the house there, 23. Nice to see Machiavelli. Francis in the well. Hello, Francis. Didn't I set my limit order for the Hex tip to 27? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. Wookie in the house. Christian. Hey, good to see you, Christian. What else do we got there? Couple more comments. Just jump through some of these. With Sandy Beach in the house. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. KD says, I remember when the iPhone was $200. What's happening? Well, yeah, it's pretty expensive now. Pretty expensive. Now, I checked the other day because I'm trying to get a camera for my vlogging, right? And I see that they had an iPhone that had has no wireless stuff in it, so it's a lot cheaper. It's not much cheaper. It's a lot cheaper, but it's not much cheaper without the wireless connection for your mobile. So it's pretty much just like a big giant camera or computer there. What else have we got there? A couple more comments. Crypto Freedom. What's up, Superman? Hey, good to see Crypto Freedom in the house. Hex Token channel member 2. Get my new phone tomorrow. Upgrade is due. So good timing for the 14, says Crypto Dan. Nice. That's worked out pretty well for you there. Influence more like manipulation. The elections like, yeah, KD, yeah. It's always one side saying what the other side's doing, but they're the ones doing it. But they always make out the other side's doing it. That's what happens there. And it's typically one way. We all love Jesus and Hex, says Christian Collin. Nice one. That's very, very cool. Katie says, we are not sheep, we are ducks, says Katie. Well, there's some truth in that too. What else there? I think Aussie Stone in house. What's ETH fair? Yeah, we'll quickly talk about that. Aussie Stone and Charity's in house as well. Hey, Charity, good to see you as always. Get Galaxy camera is great, says Christian. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So that is pretty much that. Let's see how the market's been holding up there. Obviously, BTC pulling back as well with the stock market down 18,868, so down 3.3% over the last 24 hours. ETH at 1323, down 4%. Remember, we were only what we were up at just only a couple of days ago, and we were much higher than that. And we just 1670 was it? 1785. We're at 1785. Look at that. This is the last month here. This last 7 days. Let's go. Yeah, only a week ago we were up here, around the 1630 mark, and now here we are all the way down to 1324. We have been below 1300 not long ago. It was just over a day ago there, I think. So yeah, that's what's happening with the ETH price there. And a BNB down 2% to 266. So same players doing the same sort of tricks, sell the negative news down, and the market just goes down using some, shorting tools or whatever they're going to be doing, and away we go. XRP though is up 7%. I don't know why. I love the technology of Ripple, but I hate the fact that they can just basically it's a money printer. But hey, look, the thing's up 7%, so it's hard to argue with that. All right, cool. Let's jump over the Nomics link here. Now, I haven't pulled this up for a while. We got the total global market cap at the moment, 948 billion. So well and truly under $1 trillion there, which we had been over just a little while ago, down 2.5% overnight. The volume there it's saying 257 billion in 24-hour trade volume, down 7%. We've got, I'm not going to go through all these. We've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance. These are all down. Obviously, I'm just trying to go down to see where Hex is positioned at that moment. Hex is number 21 at the moment. So sitting at just over 3 cents, down 3.69%. So a shock and all there. That's where Hex is at the moment. What's actually the market cap on here? I just forgot to check that. 4.2 billion is the market cap on here at the moment. Obviously, with their particular adjustments. Remember, we had that issue some time ago. 5.48 million in volume, it says there. That's where Hex is at the moment. Let's have a quick look at Hex on the close by there. We've got Hex at 3.064 cents at the moment. Here is our candle. We had a big wick down, and I guess this is what everyone's talking about. We had a big wick down there to 2.766 cents. So if you had limit orders in there and you got filled, or some of you got filled, I guess. Wow, look at that. Nice little bit bounce back to over 3 cents. Nice to see that. And of course, this puts us back just below the 18th of June. So we now have a new technical low here in our chart. So there we are, 2.776. And of course, on my particular chart here, the previous low was 2.2814, so 2.814 cents. So we now have a new low. So there we are. And of course, we are in bearish volatile times. That's what's happening at the moment. So let me just the only buy pressure that I can see us getting in the near term is excluding the wild card. I'm going to start using the term the wild card just so that you guys know. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm not saying it, but you know what I'm talking about. When I'm saying wild card, I'm not saying it, but that's all I'm saying. Excluding any wild card, we're our next potential buy pressure is still coming from the perpetuals if we get enough buying in the last 26th, 27th of the month there. Enough volume coming into perpetuals when we expect to get that big boom, and we get enough of that buying on the market. Assuming people not using stuff from their liquid wallets or etc. So taking into account and excluding the wildcard scenario, which I've actually never said what that is. You guys, if you know this environment enough, you'll probably work that out. So there we are. I have played hints on just about every live stream I've had, but you know what I'm talking about. All right, so cool. Enough jokes aside. That is Hex at the moment. Actually, I was going to look at the hourly on Hex just so we could see where that happened. So yeah, it was only what do we got? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours ago. So it was 2 o'clock in the morning my time in Kiwiland. 2 o'clock in the morning my time, Kiwiland, which would have been when all the Americans are up and so forth. So there we are. That was the dip there. a new low. Wow. So if you had limit orders, you were well off. Now, obviously, we've got interest rates rising. So where is the low? Where is the low now? We will find out. And of course, we had AK in here yesterday, talking about 0.006 cents or something like that, 0.007. I'm just paraphrasing there, but that's where we are at the moment. In any case, let's have a look at Maximus. Maximus Decimus there. So dollar cost average is what we say. Pick up those volumes average. Obviously, if you've got no one buying, then the price is going to go down. But if you're dollar cost averaging, let's see where it goes. Now, we're going to come back around to Hex later on when I do a bit more wrap up to put my final point in there. But here we are at the moment on Maximus at 7.115 cents. So this is a bit more better looking, isn't it? A bit more better looking in the old Maxi there, 7.115 cents. And this is holding up. You feel a bit better holding your Maxi at the moment, don't you? This has been the main play that I've talked about over the period of time. And of course, this is still playing out. In fact, it's only going to get better, subject to the interest rate rises. They obviously dragging the market down. But look, the ratio is certainly performing well. And let's have a look at the ratio at the moment on a good old Maximus team base. Now, we've been covering this in depth on this channel because it is a major benefit to the Hex ecosystem. And I actually picked up, I'm not going to say when, but I actually picked up more Maxi. Just cheers, everybody, onwards and upwards. And I did a lot of positioning in Maxi, and it's playing out that way, so it's cool. All right, so here we are at the moment. That's going up pretty good there, and look at that chart. Looks pretty nice in this environment. That's a pretty good Maxi premium over Hex, and of course we're seeing a lot of success with that. Let's jump over to. We're going to come back to that, but let's jump over to the results at the moment. Let's do a little refresh here of the Maximus team of perpetuals. Remember, you can go and mint team. You need Maxi to mint team. It is the DAO token. You don't keep the Maxi that you put into the team, but you get the team back. And of course, the perpetuals Hex staking pool. So you keep the Hex that you put in, but you get out the ownership token out the other side, which is the base, Trio, Lucky, and Decimus. 1 year, 3 year, 7 years, and 10 years perpetual staking pools. They just basically restake. There is a mint and redemption phase at the end of each maturity period, but a way to go. They also have the diamond hands, which is an additional product on top of this. We can stake the ownership tokens and earn yield on yield, or yield plus yield, however you want to put it. And of course, we can see the APYs are going up as these pools get bigger. We see the APYs going up as well. So it's pretty attractive stuff there. In addition to this, diamond hands, diamond stakes, diamond hands yield on top of this, which we think will probably come out maybe on the 22nd if we're lucky. With the order and the contracts back. So if it's a bit later than that, then they'll make adjustments, of course. So the base at the moment, a staggering 40.8 million. It's looking really, really good. Now, ideally, what you want is for the bigger pays better bonus is a 10% maximum extra bonus there for the bigger pays better bonus. And we want to get up to 150 million ideally on each of these. At the moment, we've got 40.8 million. So we're doing pretty well on the base. We had that big 10 million come in, was it yesterday? And of course, we now have 2,149 T-shares. Trio, the 3-year Hex staking pool. You put Hex in, you get Trio out. You still own the Hex because the Trio is the ownership of the Hex. And of course, you will own the T-shares proportionally, whatever you hold in those T-shares there. 25.85 million there is how much this Hex has gone into the Trio. The Lucky there, which comes out before the big stakes that come out in 2030, the 10-year stakes. You're going to front run all of those. So if the price is nice and juicy, you're coming out at a pretty good lucky time. Did you like that? You're coming out at a juicy Hex price, lucky time. I think this might just have the luck of the Irish there. Luck of the Irish, that's what it might have. So this actually could be an interesting play on the premium on this one too. We'll see what the market does with the relative premiums to this. And of course, versus the highest benchmark at the moment, which is the Maxi stake, which is the 30th biggest stake in Hex. 15th biggest shark at 42,000 T-shares. But you can see that these things are going to be all significant players in the T-share game as they're getting bigger and bigger. All right, cool. We got relative APYs as well. 2,500 T-shares in the Lucky. But look at this juggernaut, the Decimus Decky there, the 10-year perpetual stake there, 129.39 million. It's getting very close to the 150 million mark, which is kind of that, targeted amount. We've still got like 6 days to go or so. So very exciting. We're currently in what I say, day 16. I think, yeah, a couple more hours left in day 16 of 21.3 quarters. I think it is 21.75 days or something like that. 129.39 divided by 150. And we are currently at 86.3%, just under 86.3% of the target for Decimus, like a boss. And of course, look at those juicy T-shares. Put your hand up if you want T-shares like that. 17,114. That is pretty nice. And of course, the total is 220,377,000 Hex with 23,583. Now, obviously, Steph from Stake Wrap was running a giveaway for 5555 Maxi for 3 lucky winners. And of course, it was guessing how much Hex would go into the pool there. And hey, there's all sorts of different people voting there on Twitter for that. I have posted those in the past 2 days. I'm not sure when the cutoff time, I didn't check it this morning, but had the cutoff time on that tweet. So it's well worth chasing it up if you still want to try and qualify. It may still be open, I'm not sure. But 220 million Hex is essentially off the market for short to long term. The most of this is long term. And of course, this is great for Hex, right? This is what's so good about these staking pools. Not only are they efficient investing for the retail book, particularly smaller players, because you don't have the gas fees. You got optionality over the Hex stakes there. You can trade out in and out depending on whether you need to. Maybe go on emergency in life or whatever. And of course, you can also go into liquidity pools with the ownership tokens. And of course, now you can even better and a safer way than liquidity is just to stake your ownership tokens in the diamond hands and earn mysterious rewards and penalties from people early in staking. So it's going to be pretty fun place to be. And of course, if you're doing it right, you may have had a copy on ETH already if you'd already beaten the fork for that. But of course, and on ETH Fair as well. So now you've got 3 chains where you've got a copy if you had done it before the fork, of course. But of course, you also have the opportunity to buy those on those chains at the current market prices. Whether they hold up or not, it's another question. It's speculative on those 2 chains. But it looks like the ETH chain is gaining big momentum. And of course, has been building out the network effect. The decentralized exchanges have adoption. So the ETH does look like it's going to be quite the juggernaut, and ETH Fair may end up doing okay as well. We'll see. And we are in bear market, and of course the market keeps going down in the market, then a lot of these stuff will probably end up going down over time. So just take all that into account. But in any case, so far so good. And of course, you'll be able to mint and stake all this. Is all supported. Maximus and of course Hedron Akosa, both of those dApps support the ETH chain. And of course, Maximus also supports the ETF chain, the Ethereum Fair chain. So you've got multiple now. It's like a hydra of investments on multiple chains, and so you're really winning. What a winning ecosystem this is, that you're going to be able to do that. And of course, how quickly have the devs in our community made that possible, and of course, compared to other communities. So it really is becoming an incredible place to earn massive passive incomes on so many fronts. So very exciting. All right, so cool. Let's have a look at the team at the moment. 58.36 million Maxi has gone to the team. You can see the Maxi down here. It's a 1-to-1 mint. And of course, this is the ownership or DAO token. 36.42 million is staked in team. 22 million is a liquid at the moment. I suggest that probably more of this liquid will get staked at the end of the day once people stop procrastinating. Some of it will be speculative. People have just bought team for speculation. I'm sure that's the case too. Maxi burn there at 11 points. So 20% goes to burn. A massive 11.67 million. Let's do some quick math on that. So 11.67 divided by a 293.3, which is the total supply. So 293.3 million total supply there. Just under 4% is going to be burned like a boss, but it gets better. It gets better because the 369 Maxi rebate gets 30% of the Maxi that goes into the minting process. And of course, so that's out of this total amount here, 30% is going into the rebate. And that's effectively off the market because 1/6 of that gets rewarded in year 3. And I think it's 2/3 in 2/6 in year 6 and so on. So it's going to be off the market for a long time. This Maxi, and of course that's 17.51 divided by 293.3. That is 6%. It's going to be off the market for years. So you're talking about 6 plus 4, 10% there of the Maxi. It's looking pretty good. It's going to be off the market for at least 3 years or permanently. So it's pretty amazing there. And then, of course, the Maxi mystery box gets 50% of the Maxi here. And, of course, that's at 29.2 million. And, of course, no one knows what the mystery box is going to do. But, hey, look, apparently the team and the diamond hands for the perpetual stakings, they get some mysterious drops. So I guess it's got to come from somewhere, right? And of course, this is one of the obvious places. Another obvious place maybe, well, at least for the team token, future product development. So it's going to be fun to see that. Now, obviously, the bigger the perpetuals, the more rewards for the team as well. So the bigger those are, it's going to be fun to see where they lay out. 1,617 minters now. And of course, they also have 66.7 million Maxi on the sidelines. So they're all in the game now. It's going to be fascinating to see that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 millionaires in their holding team. It's going to be fun. Stay tuned for this afternoon. I'll be doing a day 16 results, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see how we get on with the final numbers. All right, cool. And at the moment, the premium's looking like a boss there, 2.32. And of course, looks like yesterday I was left it in the Discord talking about looks like a breakout. So let me go to the price chats in the Discord there. And Maxi Premium, this is what I put in before I went to sleep last night. Maxi Premium moving to the upside there, and I started to break out there. So that's kind of where we saw that, and bam, look at that. It's really broken out from 2.26 up to 2.3. Actually spiked up all the way up, obviously with the Hex price moving down to 2.766 cents, I think it was. And of course, managed to get up to 2.43, almost 2.44 premium over Hex, so 2.44 Hex for one Maxi. Hey, this thing looks like it's going to do a little runaway. Obviously, not investment advice. Just going with what the chart's saying and with how so far this has been performing extremely well. And I think the party's only getting started as we get in towards the last 6 days. Remember, this finishes on the 27th. Minting finishes on the perpetuals on the 27th of September at 0 UTC time. And then, of course, the finalize function is going to run, and all this stuff's going to get allocated out of the team wallet. So at the moment, the team wallet's holding this amount. It's all going to get allocated to these contracts here. The scheduling for Maxi Rebat's going to get scheduled. And, of course, the stakes, all these stakes are going to be staked. And then, of course, it's going to be party time. We'll be seeing what happens with these premiums. And obviously, we're going to also have staking for diamond hands as well. How much is going to go into there for the diamond hands? It's looking to come out on the 22nd or so. Man, oh man, we could get some fireworks happening in this ecosystem. But obviously not investment advice. It is pretty exciting to see where this goes, though. Yeah, it's going to be cool. All right, so that's enough of Maxi. That is pretty fun, though. You can see the excitement is pretty awesome. And even though we've got a bearish market at the moment and trying to find price discovery, have got some excitement there. So Hedron at the moment, it's down at 2,647. And of course, that's still trying to find its floor. Like I say, all the people below this price here, all the people in here, or the majority of people in here, still have pretty decent X returns in here. And of course, just still trying to find the bottom and the price here. So we'll see. Now, obviously, we've still got probably 7 weeks to go or so, or just under 7 weeks, maybe 7 weeks to go until the big fortnight, big payday, as I call it. And that's with all the HSIs coming up into Hedron. They're going to be coming into the Hedron there. And there's going to be massive tens of thousands of T-shares up for grabs on this as well. So we're expecting them all coming here, and especially the 13th, 14th of November, party on after that. Massive Hedron burn for all the people that are winning all these HSIs. Massive ICOSA inflation event and rewards for all the people staking Hedron, ICOSA, and have Watts NFTs. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun to see where that all goes. So very exciting stuff. They got these liquidations going to show in here, and you'll be able to bid on them yourselves with Hedron. You need Hedron to bid on them. So I think we're going to get another wave later on for sure in the old Hedron chart. I'd be following that chart pretty closely to find opportunity there in this chart for sure. We may get some support around the 2,300 mark there. And then, of course, we've got some, support here at 1,500 here. So let's see where we go. Now, you can apply a nice little Fibonacci to this as well. I guess you might want to take it from maybe here or down here somewhere. You can think about that. All right, cool. That is Hedron. ICOSA at the moment is at 99.47 cents. ICOSA hit a new low of 94 cents there with the Hex price moving down. Obviously, it's tied to Hex pretty much for the most part with the HSI buybacks through the ICOSA contract. And at the moment, it hit a new low. So not only did we pierce $1 yesterday, we've gone to 94.34 cents on ICOSA at the moment. But those yields are still pretty juicy and still come through as far as I know. So cool. That is pretty much that. So we're going to jump out of that. Let us get into some of the other charts quickly. We're going to race through the BNB charts. Remember, BNB at the moment is down 2.2% at the moment. So let's race through some of these. We've got, actually, I'm missing a few of these charts for some reason. We've got Pulse Dodge there at under 0.4 of a penny. So that's got weaker as well. We've got IM there at 6.98. So that's, it's not too bad, but it's not doing too much there. And for some reason, it's not pulling up P33. But that was really weakening off the P33 there. It's failed to load. I don't know why it does that, but I'll try and fix it up later. Airdrops. Let's have a quick look at the airdrop tokens. Pulse Dodge holding up pretty well. $2.77. Looks like it's decided not to go down much anymore. And it's actually got a little bit of an uptrend going, or at least it's stabilized here and so forth. So it did work down to today, did work down to $2.48. So there's still volatility in there, obviously, down to $2.50, the 25-cent range in most of these days. And we're still waiting for the dual token system with the Dodge Bitcoin, isn't it? Or I think it's Pulse Bitcoin. So waiting for that to come out. That's the next play for me. So I kind of got Maxi at the first play, the next play Pulse Dodge Coin, and then back into Hedron ICOSA. It's kind of the obvious plays to me at the moment amongst the majors. What I call the majors. Should I call them the majors? I think so. Right, let's quickly look at the wildcards. PZN here. These are founders from within the community. We got Pulse PZN here at has weakened off. Was up yesterday. Actually looked like it was trying to make another go higher. Went to 0.9 of a penny. Currently at just 0.76 of a cent down there at the moment. More token there is down at 86 cents there, just sitting on support lines. That's for Trayvon. Of course, many of you know who Trayvon is there. All right, cool. Let's jump over to ETHW quickly. Have a look at Hex. Hex on ETHW has performed pretty well. And look at that. It's not doing too bad, is it? Nice little kind of good high supports. And currently at 0.14 of a 1 cent there. So did come back down to 0.008 or 8 cents there. But has moved back up there. So it's looking not too bad. So, people buying Hex over there. Stuff like that. So cool. What else? We got the Hedron there. Hedron at the moment on HW there is currently at 13.18. It's got 7 zeros in front of it, I think. Yeah, 7 zeros. So 7 zeros, 1313. So it's actually not doing too bad as well. Not a lot of volume though. Just small volumes, but we have had a couple of bigger volumes candles happen there. Just kind of that. What else we got? I think that's got all the relative charts here. So Hex is performing relatively to it. To ICOSA, Maxi Hex there. Maxi Hex not doing too bad versus Hex, stuff like that. But this is the main ones that we've had. So yeah, not doing too bad. Actually, it's 0014. Not bad at all. All right, cool. Let's jump over to the ETHW prices. Now this was I could tell you a little story about this, but I'm not going to. But this one here is at 1720. And of course, it's currently at 720 here. It actually was way down here. This is the last 24 hours. So it was down at $5.67. Had a nice little rally up to $7.23. And then all came all the way down, back down to $5.67 here is the old ETHW. But that said, they've managed to pick up a lot of exchanges. OKX there. FTX was the first one. That's the one that someone warned you about earlier. But OKX there, taking over the lead on the volume there. There's lots of ones here that you can participate. Now, that is ETHW at $6.13. Obviously, that's like the ETH for ETH Power Network. Now here's the Ethereum Fear. Ethereum Fear at $1.32, pretty similar to yesterday, just up slightly. And ETH Fear there is doing okay. Let's see how many markets they've got. I think it's a lot less, of course. Yeah, only a few there. You can see the difference here. Very important difference with the number of markets that are supporting. That's what I mean. ETH really has powered ahead in this place here. Doesn't mean that ETH Fear won't do okay, but once again, very speculative. Particularly, there's just brand new chains, so take that into account. Now, obviously, if you had things on the Ethereum network when it got forked to proof of stake, and of course, you would have got a copy on both of these chains based on the fork height that they've got. So I'm not sure they're exactly the same. I think this one here is slightly after there, the actual block height that got forked. But those are the two chains. And of course, you would have a copy of your ETH and your Hex and everything else on both of these chains. How do you add those? So that was a couple of questions we had earlier. Well, you go to join our Discord. And of course, I have got one or two. I've got a video here on how to connect to ETHW on this chain. There are other YouTubers out there. KG from Internet Money's been doing a few videos. I think Sam has been doing some on Jim Rat Crypto's show. Been doing some. Maddie Allen, I think, has done some stuff around here. There are a few other YouTubers out there with stuff, so you can definitely check that out. But here on Discord, we have all the links. And of course, you can just download them pretty easy. So if you want to see your free fork copies or airdrop, or whatever you want to call them, on ETHW network, you just have to add this to your MetaMask, and you'll be able to see them. Right? You'll be able to see them. That you'll be perfectly fine to do that. And of course, those are the details you need to add into your MetaMask. Pretty easy to do. Just go to your settings in your MetaMask, up the little top circle, hit settings, and then go to networks, add new network, and then you can add this in, and you'll be able to see your copies on that chain on the Block Explorer. So you'd have to go to the Block Explorer to see it. If you want to see it in your MetaMask, you're going to have to import the contracts. So if you've got Hex, for example, got copied over, you're going to have to import the Hex contract into your MetaMask, just like you do on the Ethereum side, to see the tokens in your MetaMask. That's all you have to do. You have to basically repeat that process for ETH Fair there, and of course you have to import that as well. Here is the ETH Fair network, or ETF, and you have to import those details into your MetaMask as a new network as well. So hit the circle at the top right of your MetaMask, for example, hit settings, and then add network, and then add the network. And these are the details you have to add. So you can find those on useful links, easy to do. So that's your first airdrop there, or your first copy, fork copy on ETH Power network with the ETHW token. And of course, here is the Ethereum Fair network. You've got all your copies over. It's all free. And of course, then you have to think, if you're going to be trying to sell stuff, you got to think about which liquidity pools and things like that you're going to swap. Now, I have got some of the swaps here, the swaps places that you can do sales. Particularly for ETHW. So really the main at this stage, as far as at least up to my knowledge for yesterday, ETHW and the main tokens are really the ones kind of your on ramp and off ramp with these. Otherwise, you're pretty much ratio trading. The US dollars on these sites, particularly on KyberSwap, are incorrect. So you didn't suddenly get rich. The US dollars are incorrect there because the stable coins got smashed. And of course, that's what we're expecting on Pulsechain too. That's why we're so happy to have our own native stable coins like USDL coming, and potentially CST as well. So very exciting there. So yeah, if you want to do that, so it's pretty cool. Now, if that's just getting your airdrop, it's easy to do. Just add those networks. But if you are going to speculate, you can use services like SwapSpace, for example, to buy ETHW with ETH. If you're speculating, for example, you can also you can use DeFi Swift Pro to swap between chains. So if you want to swap between ETHW and ETF, you can use DeFi Swift Pro to do that. Remember, if you want to just look at your airdrops, that's fine to add the networks. As soon as you're going to start to interact with new dApps that you're not familiar with, DEXs, I strongly suggest you move it to another wallet with different seed words and or private keys. So that you isolate the risk of interacting with new dApps, particularly if the address that you're sending it from has all your Hex stakes, you're on the ETH chain, and all that sort of stuff. That is your golden tickets. Do not risk your golden tickets, as it were. move it to another isolator if you can isolate, and then you can transfer the assets back, but you transfer it from a wallet that you had before, so that's isolated with that short-term mentality in mind. So cool. Obviously, Uniswap stuff like that. So there's a couple of things there. There's the official Twitter there for Ethereum Fair. You can keep up to date, the latest developments of what new services they're getting. And of course, remember, be very careful. Tons of scammers on Twitter offering you fake airdrops and all sorts of stuff. Be very careful. Phishing scams, all that sort of stuff, and they will rob you blind. They do not care about you. So just remember that. All right, cool. And here is a bit of a note about good practice there. So in any case, if you're going to do nothing, you just want to see your copies, here they are. And of course, if you do have Maxi, you have Hex, and you're wanting to mint them on those chains because you got them copied for free, they are supported by Maximus team. And so you can go up to the top here to the links that we've got. And of course, you can do that. So if you want to stake your Maxi mint team with Maxi, you can do it on both chains, both the Ethereum PAL one, that's ETH, and Ethereum Fair ETF. You can do them on these links here. That is supporting the Maximus, so that's Dipcatcher has made that possible. You just go on to both of these and select the network that you want to do. So you don't have to do anything there, and you can interact. So those are safe because we trust those developers, etc. Obviously, do your own investment due diligence, but there we are, and easily done. So that's that. And of course, if you want to do your Hedron and stuff like that, your Acosa, then you just use the Acosa DApp there for ETHW. I'm not aware that it's supporting ETF yet. I haven't checked. Maybe Alex, the dev, has enabled that too. But for the time being, I know that it's definitely supports ETHW. So if you've got free copies over there, you can go and stake those and earn relative rewards. But just remember, that's where it is at the stage. So cool. All right, there's a bit of a summary there. Just because I've got so many questions in the chat there, I thought I'd answer those. But at the moment, Hex looking pretty good there, and so is Hedron in the moment. So cool. Definitely the Hex, Pulsechain, Hedron, Maxi community is definitely front runners there on the adoption side. Very quick movers, as it were. A lot of other people, slow followers for the most part. So cool. That's just part of our awesome ecosystem that we live in, right? So very cool. That is pretty much that. Hope you guys like that sort of extra detail. We're going to get into Richard Hart now. So before we do that, let's get, what time is it? It's 12:18. So we've got Hex Daily Stats coming out soon. Now here's a little drop here from Richard Hart. And of course, I held big. This is a little baby alpha, a little mini baby alpha drop from Richard. And of course, I held Bitcoin from $30 down to $2. That's a 93% dip. Can you imagine how hard I laugh at people that sold at $2? So in other words, at the bottom of the dip there, they sold BTC 93% down. Ha, idiots. Idiots they are. Idiots they are. Crazy nutters, are they? So obviously we've had the Hex price pulled back down here to around about 2.8 cents at the moment. So, we're down at that, what is that, 84 and a half, 85, sorry, what I say, 94, 95% pullback is where we're at the moment. So obviously, if you want to, I guess people are going to sell, but they're going to be selling, they'll be called idiots by Richard. Idiot! Now, he's not referring to X here in particular, but he's giving us a little alpha drop there. But hey, look, we are in, these are the conditions we're in at the moment. But like I say, you never know. And this is where I'm going to say this one more time. There's a wild card. The wild card could play out. So just be careful there. And I have been playing the wild card hint inside a video every day, just on just about every live stream. And it's been very nice. And Brendan says that when I play this video of the Pulse Conference 2022, that he learns something a little bit more alphas every time he watches it. And that's why I play it so much, because there's a couple little decent alphas in there. And of course, you never know about the timing of these things. So that's the one thing I will put a caveat on that. You never know the timing of these things, but you never know what could come up in the future. It's going to be pretty fun. All right. That's pretty much that on there. That was a bit of a Hex drop there. We're going to come back to the market. So that's pretty much a roundup there of the market. So let's close down some of these sites. We've got a countdown to the ETH, to the Fed Reserve there, 17 hours and 40 minutes. So that's counting down. And of course, the BTC at the moment just pulled back like stock market, just waiting for the Fed to just tell us, are we going to have hard landing? Are we have aggressive interest rates? All that sort of stuff. we'll be listening to the speeches pretty quickly as well. I think Powell's also got a speech on Friday, so we were following that too. All right, cool. Let me just get into some of the comments before we move on and see how far back I am. Probably got miles to go in terms of the comments. Let me just quickly catch up. It's not too bad, actually, not too bad. All these EVM forks are exhausting, says Brazilja. That's true. It does take a bit to get up to speed, but hopefully I'm simplifying that for you guys in here, and some of the other YouTubers have done their best to try and help as well. So definitely you can find the links and useful links there. Pretty easy to do. Lucky maybe the sleeper, says Sandy. Maybe the sleeper too. I agree with that. We got the Hex Daily stats coming up. Day 1023. That's going to be hot off the press soon. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, we've got to get into PulsePot. I'm going to give a quick update about PulsePot in a second while we wait for the Hex Daily stats. Bob Wells says, woohoo! I good to see you, Bob. Base is the sleeper Miss Beach. It is. Base 2 is a big thing. But I agree with Sandy that Lucky is going to be an interesting valuation there. Your opinion, Bob Loss, says Sandy. I love it. I love it. Sandy Beach. Right back out there. Nice to see both of you in the chat there. Diamond hands with lettuce fingers are killing my game, says DB Cooper. That's true. What I said, Dean says on the trading view, market cap Hex is sitting at 15th, says Dean. Nice little piece of info there, Dean. Thanks for that. Awesome news about Diamond Hands. Yeah, Diamond Hands is a really big play. These guys have thought of a lot of stuff. And can you imagine new products coming down? These guys are going to keep innovating, and I'm looking forward to it. Hashtag winning, says Sandy Beach. Yeah. I guess what that means tomorrow we mint the rest of the perpetuals, says Bob. September 22nd is that not necessarily, because you can as long as you get into those before the end of the minting phase on the 27th. So yeah, not necessarily. September 27th is the day DC said when Diamond Hands will launch, as long as the audit is good. Yeah, that's true. So you may adjust it slightly, obviously, if it doesn't come in on time. So, but hey, until the 27th, pretty much does state that. When is the HSI auction starts? It will be the 14th of November. Does the perpetuals have a price? While the perpetuals have a price, they do have. Where's my charts over here? The team has a price at the moment. I don't know if the perpetuals do. I haven't actually checked that for a while, so I'm not sure if they do, but the team does, and I'll try and check that after the live stream. That's a good question, though. I did try and check it live once, but we definitely got the team token up there. I had to be careful checking these live because sometimes I get the wrong contracts up. No, Bob Wells says early November, I believe, Christian. What else have we got going on there? We've got a couple more comments in there. Lights beneath in the house. Hello, are you today? Very good. Hex, EX, PLS, and PLX for the win. Absolutely. Anyway, so some of the stuff we've got up here is pretty cool because PulsePot has been doing super well with this. This is the last of the fortune wheel auctions for the BNB. So we've had the Pulsechain and the BNB. We've had the roulette tables for the Pulsechain and BNB. Yeah, excited. Getting closer and closer to October. It's 25th September here in Kiwiland. So, you know, it's only, 10 days away till the October, and looking forward to a launch when these guys are ready to launch. Looking forward to see what the actual results are going to, like what the user interface is going to look like. Very excited about that. I like what I've seen from this team a big time. And of course, these guys are opening up a new area of crypto that we haven't seen, as far as I know, with a decentralized, world's first decentralized crypto casino that people own the house. So that's going to be pretty cool. I know there's games out there where people may be able to play games, but you own the house is a bit different. Anyway, this looks like it was won by Matty Kata just only a few hours ago. And of course, 4.5 ETH, I think, was paid there. No, 5.5. So $7,310 is what the fortune wheel with BUSD cake ETH for BNB chain. So very good. I think it's a pretty good table to own. Maximum bet $500 there. And that's won by Matty Kata. So congratulations. There were, it was two bidders in that one, pretty much. So cool. You've got to be able to fund it, of course. That's the other thing as well. So well done to PulsePot. Looking forward to the launch, man. Bring it on. Yep. All right, cool. We're waiting for day 1023 to come out. We're currently on day 1024. Let us see where we are on the charts here. This is Hex on the left, Maxi on the right. And what else we got going? Let me just zoom this down here so you can see more of this. And we've got the Hedron at the bottom left and Icosa at the bottom right. So we'll sit on that for a second. But we are waiting for day 1023. We're on day 1024, heading up towards the 3-year mark for Hex, which is really cool milestone. I'm sure once again, people when the price does recover, does do its thing, people will go, oh my gosh, I should have picked it up at 2.8, should have picked it up, whatever the price is going to be, the low price, I should have picked it up, and we'll see where we go from here. So cool. It's just the way it goes. What else that we got there? We got, let me just scroll back down here. Sorry, there we are, day 1023, hot off the press. Let's get into it. Let me get rid of that comment first. I'm going to get a couple more comments in here first, though. Hex tokens, it's just safe to add my Hex network to MetaMask to see the copies. Yes, it's safe there, Sandy Beach. Like I say, if you're going to interact with foreign dApps and things like that, that's the issue. Now, I have put it's safe if you have if you have the right network, Sandy Beach. So I have posted the right network there in the chats there. And I have added those to the wallets there. So yeah, as long as you've got the right networks. If you have something that's wrong, you could expose you to a compromising if your networks are not correct. So it may be associated to some code, perhaps, if they know your wallet and things like that. So there is all the outside chance, but those are the safe ones. Bob Wells says the Liquid Loans testnet dApp is amazing. I'm making $45 a day. Nice. Superman, what's the contract address for Liquid Loans coin? Now I'll look at that later on, Christian. Remind me of that one. Jay Pond in the house there. Yo. Good to see you, James. To meet my team of perpetuals on these new networks, I still have to transfer the copies of Hex and Maxi to the new network. I still have to transfer the copies of Hex and Maxi to the new network. No. To mint my team and perpetuals on this network. No, it will just be up in your wallet. You just need to open up the dApps, and I posted that. So I think I've covered that topic. So hopefully I'm just reading it because I'm behind here. I'll have a quick look. I'll have a quick look at that later on, Sandy, and I'll show it live after I've done the Hex Daily stats. Yeah, I can answer all those questions. Just to give me a chance, I'll get up to those. Unless someone Crazy Nutter says, "Hey, good to see property review. Great as always." Blobfish King, hi all. Good to see Blobfish King. What else there? Yeah, I'll go through Liquid Loans and the staking the team of perpetuals. Is Superman going backwards, says Bob. Hopefully not. Wake Dog says now you can gamble your speculative appreciating assets away from her roulette table, says Wake Dog. Nice one. And was it you, Wake Dog? Wake Dog, was it you? Have you bid on one of the roulette tables there? That's pretty cool if you have. Thank you, Hex Tokens, Sandy Beach. You're welcome. All these projects coming out. Texas is going to kill us. I'm about to move to Puerto Rico. And you don't pay taxes in crypto if you're from out of the island. Nice. No taxes in Puerto Rico. Also no power and sewage at the moment. Oh no, that sounds terrible. No taxes on property also, says Christian. All right, very good, guys. You guys doing great in the chat there. All right, so cool. Here we are, day 1023, folks. Hot off the press. We're coming up to an hour on the live stream, which is pretty nice. Good timing. 20th of September at just under 3.1 cents is our snapshot. We've got the payout per T-share is pretty nice today, 6.217. So it's time in the market and not time in the market, and you're earning your money printer T-share is just keep printing you Hex, and of course you're waiting for that market rebound, aren't you? I know it. And of course the more valuable it goes. It can change pretty fast though, folks, in crypto. So we'll see how we get on. We are in bearish markets. We did expect these bearish market conditions, which means it is a time of accumulation, and we will keep watching out for that. The increase in the T-share rate, 6.3, 24,159 is where we are at the moment on T-share. It's only going up and to the right. It's not coming down. And of course, it does reflect compound interest, but it does give an equal opportunity. People that come in earlier get paid better than people in the future. And of course, that's always going to be the case. So it's all a relative thing there. T-shares will get scarcer over time, regardless of demand. And that will take, obviously if we have a lot more demand, take longer to do that, but that's pretty much where it's going to go. The average stake length there is 6.6 years. The APY there is 38%. The amount of Hex in the pool, pretty similar to yesterday, 420 million. So plenty of Hex in there for large holders that want to come in and scoop some up. 9.6 million USD in the pool. I'd like to get that back over 10 million. You guys know me. I like the 10 million number a bit better. And of course, 1,163 ETH in the pool. Let's go to T-shares, down 6,600. We're down at 10,404,000. Remember, Hex is easy to understand. We have a reward pool. It has the inflation and penalties in it. And then we have the ownership pool. And that has T-shares in it, or trillions of shares. And of course, we've currently got 10.4 million of those. And of course, we expect that to go down over time. You change any of those things, particularly penalties and the amount of shareholders, then the Hex payout per T-share goes down, up or down. But of course, we're expecting it mostly to go up over time, right? So cool. That's pretty juicy. All right, so cool. Let's jump away. Circulating supply. We'll jump through all that. The amount of staked coins at the moment, 9.65% of all Hex is staked. And of course, you can see the amount there, 62 billion Hex is staked at the moment. Remember, the vast majority of Hex, some say around about 9%, is controlled by the Origin account, daughters, and sacrifice addresses. So pretty much the way it goes. We've got what else there? We've got penalties today. Not too bad day in the office, over 1 million, 1.2 million. So that's cool. And that gets redistributed. And of course, sitting inside here is often a bit of big paydays and interest from everybody else getting redistributed because they didn't keep their responsibilities in some form or another. So cool. Growth. We are still growing quite nicely at 97 stakers increase today, 109,215. We've got wallets up by 4 and the total holders up to 246 to 496,934. So we're almost getting close to 500,000 there. And at the moment, we are on day 1,024, heading up to 1,095, which will be 3 years. And of course, that's not too far away. It is 71 days away. We're almost 2 months away. It's getting closer and closer and closer. Bring on December there, approximately. So going to be fun. Very nice. All right, so that is the Hex Daily Stats. Let's go. At the moment, we're going to jump away from that. And we did have a couple of questions. We've got Hex at just under 3.1 cents. We've got the Maxi Premium at 2.32. So you need 2.32 Hex per Maxi, per Maxi. And of course, Hedron at just around about 2,700. It's kind of where Hedron is at. And the Icosa there managing to bounce back, almost back up to $1 per Icosa. That's where it is at the state. Very cool. All right. We had a couple of questions, so let's get on to some of that. I thought I got rid of that comment. How did I leave that comment? I got rid of the comment and I put it back on there. Crazy stuff. I don't see USDL on the pulse scan, says Bob Wells. What else there? I like pound sanitary sewers working, says Sandy Beach. Yeah. Let me have a look here. Got any more? I actually have a Generac for my home. I like power. Okay, cool. There must be some little power device, right? All right, it's cool. Let us. We had a couple of questions around liquid loans, so we'll go to that quickly. It's probably a little bit faster, possibly. Hopefully, the answer. So let's go to that one. Liquid loans DAP. Have I got it here? Yeah, liquid loans DAP here. So we're going to quickly jump onto this, then we're going to get onto the Maximus staking on ETH. I think that was what Sandy was asking about. Right. So connect your wallets. Yes, sir. To MetaMask. And so we're in. So at the moment, of course, there's loan tokens in USDL. You can go to the faucet and get liquid loans token, so you can actually do that. So we'll request some, we might as well. You have already claimed 10 loan tokens in 24 hours. Yes, we did. We did that in the second afternoon. So let's go to bring up the wallet then, and I'm going to open it up so you can see the wallet. And this is on the testnet, by the way. This is not real, this stuff. So we've got the loan token there. This loan token. That's the loan token. And we go up here and view asset in Explorer. So there is the loan token, and that's the one there. So let's go back and we're going to pick that up. So that is the loan one. If you want the loan token, That is the contract on Pulsechain, loan contracts on Pulsechain. You just have to import that. So obviously you just have to go and import that one. Just go to import tokens and go to, I don't know what happened there. Just import tokens. Yeah, there we are. And then just paste that in there. And it should, so as a token has already been added, but you just add that, it should have the token there, loan, and you click add, that will have that one. Now USDL, I don't know if I got the, I'm sure I've got USDL. Let me see if I've got that in the wallet actually. USDL, maybe I haven't got the USDL. There it is there. USDL there, cool. I'm going to view that on the blockchain too. So cool. And we're going to copy that. And once again, you just have to go back to your wallet under assets and go click import on the test network and paste that in. Bam. And of course, this has already been added because I already got it, and add it to your network. Pretty easy to do. So that's USDL. I think I answered that one. USDL contracts on Pulsechain. Bam. So there we are. I think two people asked that, Sandy Beach and somebody else. So there it is. There's the loan one, and there is the USDL. Cool. Yeah. And you can get free loan token. Yes, you can. All right, quickly. Cool. So that was the first question. I think the second major one that we got asked was around the staking on Maximus on ETH chain, which is one of the two new proof of work forks. So cool. Let's jump out of there. And of course, I've got USDL, and which I've got, that's $4,400 of USDL staked. I've also got 22 loan tokens staked at the moment. So that's pretty good. So that's ticking away. We'll look at that maybe in our second live stream. So that's the first question. The second one was, of course, the staking. So assume that you've added the ETH proof of work network in. That's the first thing. That way you can just see your tokens. You just have to switch your MetaMask over. So remember, you just have to switch your MetaMask over to the relevant test network. So to see assets, so at the moment I was on Pulsechain test network to look at the loans thing, but of course I want to go to the real networks that have actually got real assets on them, and that's a relative term because ETH has obviously the most real assets. And then of course we've got you can see I've got Ethereum Fair up here. I just switch over there and I can see the assets on there. So I've got ETW. Now, if I want to see my tokens in the wallet other than just the blockchain, I have to import them just like you normally do. And of course, if I go to ETW network, I select that, I can now see all the assets that I got over there. So ETW, I had to import Hex, Maxi, and USDC. I had to import those tokens to see them. So just click import and get the contract addresses. So that's pretty much easy. That now you use the same contracts, right? So Hex is the same. It's the same contract on Ethereum. It's the same contract on ETW. It's the same contract on ETF. It's going to be, on the Pulsechain as well. So pretty cool. All right, so nice. All right, so that is that. And of course, where are we up to on that one? Yeah, so we're going to quickly go to, so assuming all you have to do is add the network. How you do that, you just go up to here. You go to settings, and then you go to networks, and then just add in the network there. So you can see I've already added these two networks. That you can pause the video, but those are the details. Ethereum Fair, I've added that too. You just have to click add network, and you'll be able to add all those details in. So you just go to ETW here on useful links in the Discord. The link to Discord is in the video description. And of course, you can just copy those in. Just copy that, take that, and copy that into there. Bam. Take that and copy that into there. Bam. And see, this error came up because I've already got this network added, right? So it won't happen to you. And then of course the network chain ID, very important. So you do talking about trustworthy, see how the warning comes up. Malicious network provider can lie about the state of the blockchain and record your network activity. Only add custom networks you trust, right? So that's the key. So we've taken this from the official sites and so forth. So just remember that. So as long as you know that the official numbers should be fine, and bam, and of course then you just add in one of the block explorers here. So the block explorer for ETW is oklink.com, and you're just going to add that in and then click save, and then you'll have the network. And once you've got the network, you'll be able to select it, and then you'll see your assets. Now obviously you'll start off with the main token, which is the main coin, which is ETW. Everything else are tokens, right? And of course to see that, you can see your wallet, you can just view account on Explorer at the top right there using ellipsis. And of course, you can see there's no balance on this particular account because it's our play wallet that we play around with. And of course, yeah, it's got 0 ETH here, type of token 0. So there's nothing on this particular one. So forth. But if there was, then you could add them in. Now, one way of adding them in is to make sure that you always use the right contract. You can go to Etherscan itself, which is the genesis, the home, the mother of all these blockchains, right? And you can go and find Hex, for example. And of course, it's a good idea to get memorized, to know what Hex contract is. So let's assume this open a little bit more here. So you can see that the X contracts always ends in 39B here. So it's a good idea to get familiar, particularly with your most valuable contracts. And of course, you can copy that in, come up to the MetaMask here, and then import the token, and away you do. It will pull that in, and of course, this one here, I've already got it imported. And of course, if it does come out, just type in Hex in there, and of course, normally it's 8 decimals. So put 8 decimals in for something like that, and there it is on the Hex there. So you can see that you got the contract, and it's the best way to go and do that. So if you had any of your contracts that you had, so another way of doing that, of course, is just to flip back to Ethereum, and of course you can see all the contracts in here already. So you can go to Maxi, you can hit Maxi and view asset on Etherscan, and then it's going to pull out the contract straight away, right? So you're on the contract. It ends in 84B, and of course you can flip back to ETH mainnet there, and of course you could do it this way, right, where you could just go through your wallets that way. You might do it much more efficient by just putting it on a node or something like that, and then you can import Maxi and Maxi there, and then I've already imported it, so then add that, and before you know it, you've got Hex and Maxi and all the other tokens that you've minted. If you minted before the fork, you might have Base and Trio, Lucky and Decimus as well. It just depends whether you had those at the fork or not. So cool. If you had them at the fork, then you got them copied. And if you don't see any assets there, so it's always good when you come to your wallet, it may be empty, and you have to go to the block explorer to see whether you actually had got assets copied over, right? You had those assets at the right block height, and you'd have them here that show up. So pretty easy. Right, so that's pretty much that with the MetaMask. Now, quickly, if we go to, so let's assume now you can see your assets. You've added them into the wallets. You can see them on the Block Explorer. Now you want to go and stake some. So maybe you had some Maxi. You want to go stake some on the ETHW network because you got it for free. It's all free revenue. This is the wonderful thing that we're in at the moment with this ecosystem in particular. You can't get it anywhere else, so that's for sure. A lot of the other teams are slow, even with any of the UI copies as well. But you can go up to here, and you'll be able to use these to stake your, to mint your team, or to stake mint your perpetuals with your Hex on the ETHW network. And of course, you can also do it with the ETF network as well. So there's a little bit of work to do, but not too bad. It's not too bad. And of course, it's not much work if you think about the fact that you're setting up new revenue streams. Now, we don't know what the value of this is going to be over time. But we can see already that Hex on the ETHW network's not doing too badly. I mean, it's up 7.4% overnight here at 0.01415. So obviously some good adoption from the community happening there. Obviously, we are pretty fast adopters in this community, and we have devs that lead the way. They really are leading the way. They make it all possible, right? So cool. And so you can click on here. And what this will do is then pull up options for your staking. So first thing, you add the networks, you add the coins. You can see the fact that you've got these assets for free. And now you want to either, if you're not selling them, you're just going to look to stake them. This is what we're doing now. So you're just looking to stake them. You have to connect your MetaMask. See, I agree. Now we have to select which one we want. We connect it to Ethereum proof of work here, or ETHW. We like to call it Ethereum Power there. Or we can click to Ethereum Fair. Now we can have to, if we've got assets on both chains, we're gonna have to do this again, copy it. So first one we choose ETH Power, then we're gonna have to go through and do Ethereum Fair as well. So you got a little bit of work, but you're setting up free revenue streams, so it's not too bad, is it? And of course, away you go. So cool. I pressed ETHW there, and this is very cool. You got to remember the ETH Power and the ETF are on different dApps from the Ethereum minting. Okay, so they're very different. If you're going to do Ethereum minting, you're not going to use these two. You're going to have to go up and use this one here. So this is the one here. Maximus DAO. You have to go through that way to get to the dApps. That's for minting on the Ethereum chain. All right, so there's this one here, and then there's this one. So you got 3 chains. You can have passive income on all of these chains. Yes, it's insane. Welcome to the best ecosystem in town, the Hex ecosystem, and then later on we've got the Pulsechain as well. That's going to be crazy. So just get yourself set up for all that sort of stuff. It's going to be cool. All right, so cool. Then obviously if you got Maxi for free, put your Maxi in. Let's say you got 10,000 Maxi. Approve your Maxi spend on the ETH chain, and then of course mint the Maxi there. Very cool. And you can see I'm on ETH chain there, so it's going to work perfectly well. And away you go. You mint, approve and mint, away you go. Stake your team if you're going to stake and get all those juicy extra rewards there. And of course, don't forget to go and repeat, of course, if you're going to do the perpetuals. So let's say you're going to do the perpetuals now. We've done the team. We've done going to go do the perpetuals. We've got Hex on there for free. And of course, got copied over. We're going to click OK. I've got to change my wallet, of course, to ETH. So it's ETH. So let's change it to, actually, I had it on ETH, so that's fine. Let's leave it on ETH. And it connects. And I agree. And now we're going to click ETH for the perpetuals. And I do that. And of course, we're waiting for that to show up. And bam, now I put my Hex in. I want to do base year. I decide which year I want to do. Do I want to do Trio, Lucky, or Decimus? Maybe I got 100,000 Hex on there and I wanted to put 25,000 in each. Well, I'm going to have to go through this 4 times, right? 25,000, 25,000, 25,000, 25,000. Got to remember on this chain, it's pretty cheap to do stuff on there. It's not too bad at the moment. So it's actually a good time. And you don't know what it's going to be in the future, of course. But at the moment, of course, relatively low use compared to Ethereum, for example. So cool. You're going to put your Hex in. Let's say you put 25,000 Hex in. And of course, you have to approve and mint. And away they got your base there. Well done to you. Now, obviously, then, of course, diamond hands may come out later on. And then, of course, it'll be yield on yield for these as well, because it looks like they're going to be fully supported on all chains. And we're lucky that the mint phase is on just at the moment. And these forks happened at the moment. It's kind of a bit of a godsend from that point of view. So congratulations for being the luckiest people on planet. All right, cool. That's pretty much that. Now, obviously, you're going to go and repeat that through for the other chain. So you have to go through and repeat it for the fair chain, jump onto that. And, of course, you can repeat that through on both chains. So you're going to go through and mint team on the ETH Fair network now, and mint perpetuals on the ETF there, the ETH Fair one there as well. So you've got a bit of work to do, but it's, it depends on how complex your strategy is for staking, and away you go. So cool. That's pretty much that. And what else are we going to say about this? I think that's it. Cool. Now, if you've got ETHW, let's go back to ETHW, and of course ETH Power, as we call it. And you want to do your ICOSA, then you have to click on the ICOSA dApp. Now, I don't know if this is yet compatible for ETF. It probably will. I'm sure Alex will probably do that. I have to check his tweets. I haven't checked his tweets, so we might go and do that. But basically, you can go through. You can do Hex on this as well on ETH Power. This works. Hedron works, and ICOSA works. So you can go and do anything you want to on there. So ETH Power. You can make some stakes with Hex on ETH Power. You can do all that sort of stuff. Hedron, I guess you can do these things as well. So you can do HSI stakes. You can stake ICOSA if you've got ICOSA. Maybe it's not Hedron, you got ICOSA copied over. Maybe you got Hedron copied over. Then you can do all the stuff. You can stake your Hedron and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. So that's all the stuff you can do. Interact with them as you normally would, but you got to make sure that you're on the right chain, on the ETH chain, and then make sure that you're connected properly for that. So cool. Yeah, the key thing is when you're interacting with ICOSA here, just to make sure that you're on the right chain. That's the number one thing you need to remember, so that you're not operating on ETH chain and botching up some of your stakes or something like that. You know what I mean? So just take your time. Be cool. Be cool to up school. Let's quickly check Alex's thing, actually see whether Alex has actually been doing anything around the ETF network, or the Ethereum Fair network, as we say. Alex, let's see if he's done anything around that since I last saw him do stuff. The only app to use is app.icosa. That's what we just showed you. That's the app.icosa there. It really is multi-purpose. It's pretty cool. There we are. So we did. It does now. Woo! So you can repeat this again. App ICOSA Pro now supports Ethereum Fair. So you can, this is how much revenue. I'm going to do a video on this. I have been planning on it. So we're going to do on this how many. This is a bit like, what do we call it? What did I say the word was before? Hydra. This is like a hydra of revenue streams. Now it's insane. You're pretty much in the best revenue situation on the planet here, where the passive income is going to be fun. Enjoy your Hex Hedron Arcosa shenanigans. Remember, be aware of the risks associated with interacting with new chains. And this is what I say, so just remember that. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty cool. Hearing reports that App Hex win was down. A lot of Hex people. You can also manage your ETH Hex stakes with Arcosa apps. That's right. So that's what I said. Very, very cool. I must retweet that too. And so I think that's it. That's it from Alex. So well done, Alex and Aiden Tipcatcher. They've made all these multiple revenue streams on multiple chains possible. We salute you. And of course, take you out there. Now, if you are deciding to speculate or trade, that's a different proposition now, because now, in particular, you're taking on even more risk, and therefore, if you are going to just to dump all your assets that you got copied, and maybe you're going to bring them over to Ethereum or whatever, even at the current prices, so you're not speculating on the price on those chains, then you have to start looking at some of these other things here. Kyber Swap, you can swap ETH to Hex, for example, on Kyber Swap. That's for the ETH network. If you're looking at the ETH Fair network, then you're looking at DeFi Swift. So you can swap between ETH and ETF on that one. Uniswap, of course, you can, it's actually a bit buggy, but you can try and swap ratio trade between, say, Hex and Maxi, for example, something like that. Now, these are all still growing and emerging, so they're all a little bit buggy and this and that. And if you're going to do this, then if you're going beyond that, then you're going to have to look at good practices to use a wallet with different private keys and seed phrase. So what you can also do, by the way, is instead of just staking on your main Ethereum wallet with your free copies, you can send your copies out to another wallet with a different key seed phrase and different keywords, which I generally suggest doing. And then you can interact with the blockchain on that side. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, you are interacting by transferring, but if you're going to be doing anything else, you can decide to try and do your best to isolate that way as well. So there's things like that. But it's more important, in particular, if you're going to be interacting with new dexes and stuff like that. It's probably the bigger thing there. So, like I say, risk management's always number one in crypto. So, if you've got different wallets, I would isolate things and have them in different wallets with different key phrases there. And this is the best practice, right? Best practice. So hopefully that's a quick overview. Let me know if that was helpful. I know that's where the two main questions were: liquid loans, things like that. So hopefully I've helped out there a little bit there. 3 chains is a lot to think about when you're already having a good time. All right, now you have the option of doing nothing. You have an option of just leaving those there and doing nothing. Remember, that's the other option. You have the option of doing nothing, of course. It's up to you what you do. Just get yourself educated first of all, so that you have you're fully informed of what you are going to be doing. Cool. Let me have a look here. What else here? How far back did I get? I think I got up to here. Let me get back to the charts here. We're going to go back to the Hex charts. And here, actually, we're going to go back to the Hex charts here. Now, here's the ETH prices on this chart. This is what we're watching here as well. I'll try and get the ETF. I don't know if it's up yet on ETF there. I'll try and get that up there possibly. Let's see where we are here. Okay, so Bob says, awesome. There is no way to get your PLS back from liquid loans, says Knol. No, it's a test network, I guess. It might not work well yet, but there definitely is a redemption tab. Says Bob Wells. You must pay back your USDL. Yeah, okay, we're talking about USDL there. Cool. We jump through all those. Yep, Bob Wells says Alex and Dipchatcher are both supporting ETF and ETH. Yeah, I got around to that, so fortunately for that one. Yeah, I just hadn't checked whether Alex had done ETF, but he has. Someone knows how to get your PLS back from liquid loans, then please make a video. Yeah, the man says Bob Wells. I appreciate that. Let me jump through some of those. Hex Token, I did not have perpetuals at the fork, so I would mint them on my good MetaMask wallets. If you didn't have perpetuals at fork, you won't have them on the ETH or ETF chain. You would have to mint them on Ethereum on your good wallet, and you can mint them on your wallet. Like I say, you can choose to on the Ethereum chain with your good wallet. Yes, you can do that if you haven't minted the perpetuals. That's perfectly good. Yeah, do that on the ETH chain only. So we're not talking about ETH, ETF, just on the ETH chain. Yeah, you can mint your perpetuals on that chain. That's cool. I think it's also that Hex is so prominently used already on the new chains. Hopefully it brings more adoption. Certainly is. There's certainly front-running adoption, that's for sure. Bob Wells says, I'm going to mint my perpetuals on both EW and ETF and let the cards lay where they may, says Bob. Maxi ETF through the ePower link. Nice. Yep. So once again, in our Discord, this is what the Discord's about. Discord's about good community, good information. So hopefully we're doing that. And of course, useful links here is we're trying to add them as they go. You can always let me know if something's not quite clear enough. I can fix that up, of course. So get into that. Cool. All right. We're coming up to an hour and a half. So this is a bit longer only because I wanted to answer those questions since a lot of people had them. Bob, me too. I did, but do I transfer my Hex to my DGN wallet and use that one? Already staked, boom. Already staked, boom, says KD. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm just going to transfer my Hex to another wallet to mint my team. Perpetuals on ETH, W, and ETH to be safe. I like idea. Well done, Sandy. You always do the right thing. Very, very good. And Maxi, yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea, says Bob. Congratulations, peeps. Alex tweeted today, Akosa's working on ETF. He did, Bob. I just hadn't checked it, but we have now. I have a little DGN in me, says Sandy Beach. What else there? I'll be busy this weekend, says Sandy. Yeah. Take your time too, Sandy. Take your time. You got the time. So it's pretty cool. Football will have to wait this weekend, lol, says Sandy Beach. True. What else there? I think Hex token. Yes, very helpful. Cool. Pulsechain, Hex, cryptos and house. Can you Hex reaching 3 cents on POW or ETH fair side in the next 5 years? Who knows? Pulsechain, Hex. The main chains are going to be Hex on ETH and Hex on Pulsechain. But these chains may do reasonably well. Just remember, there are a large volume and only so much economic energy. So we do going on other chains does attract different types of people on those chains. Obviously, a lot of people in the Ethereum community, but you need to balance that out with economic energy over time as well. But they're doing pretty well at the moment, as we can see on ETW at least. It's not too bad. Over 1/10 of a penny. I think that's pretty decent. So we'll see where it goes. Behave, Bob says Sandy Beach behavior. Yeah. I hope so. I bought some Power Hex at 0001. Nice one, Bob. Well played. All right, cool. We're going up to an hour and a half. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And of course, get into our Discord. It's a free place to be. We try to make it a really good, safe, fun, and good community. And of course, keep it safe and fun and informative is probably the way to go there. Now, we have useful links. Of course, we have video tutorials. We got the general chat for Richard Hart tokens, price chat for all those people that like to talk prices. Pretty much we let just about any price chats go in there, except for any non-scams and things, obviously. And of course, non-price chat there, crypto. Also, we have general voice updates from people like Brian, it's now Fat Sammy and others who like to help onboard people and ask the questions. So we do appreciate all the work that they do. We've got Wookie now on the moderating team as well. You can see Wookie there. And of course, he keeps it light and friendly. So it's pretty nice. We've got Pulsechain projects there as well. If you're into new Pulsechain projects, new tokens chats there and so forth, and new token links for everything there, including the Pulse Police around security, particularly airdrops, all of our Pulsechain projects, the Sacrifice projects, if you're into that with the hot pulse list evaluations, and of course, lots of other stuff in there too. There's a private chat there for Hex Token channel members. And of course, Hex Token channel members do get upgraded to purple names. If you haven't been upgraded, I did go through an upgrade, but if you haven't, then let me know. Standard members are in blue, which is of course just one of those perks, of course, being a Hex Token channel member. You can hit the join button on this channel and on YouTube and become one. There's Pulseskins, Hexkins, and Richard Hart, just a simple way of supporting the channel. We can see actually Brian's jumping into general chat there, so you want to jump in there. Sure, he's willing. Oh, he's jumped out of there again now. All right, but he was in there. So cool. and so forth. So this is a syndicated channel. So we are syndicated with Jen Hex there, Craig, and of course Heinz Crypto, who's you know, doing a lot of great videos like these. So big shout out to Heinz Crypto there, particularly around PulsePot, which I think is a bit of fun. Hey, Brian's back in the chat there now. Boy, oh boy. All right, it's an hour and a half. I think we've done it, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a lot of cool stuff. And of course, I'll catch you again in about 5 hours' time. We're going to do day 16 final results for Maximus team and perpetuals. I'm going to be running all the way through to that period. I'm going to be actually looking at channel format changes after the Maximus launch on the 27th. So we're doing content a bit differently. I got to think I know, I kind of have a feeling where I want to head. So we'll be making a few changes after the Maximus there. But otherwise, the format's going to be the same, pretty similar up until the 27th. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Who else is in there? We've got a couple more comments. I'm going to play out Richard Hart's little alpha drop bomb. Really, I've been playing this just about every session because there's so much goodness in there. If you really want to see what's happening, I think with a pretty upfront view of where Richard's head's at, I think it's in this video. And also at the Pulse conference there. And of course, I think the other thing, it's got quite a few little alpha bombs in it. If you match them all together, you go, oh yeah, I see where Richard's heading with this. So cool. All right, let's play this out. Take care, everybody. Catch you in 5 hours' time. Subscribe, and hit the like button on the way out. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me find the good old leader himself, our genius crypto founder, Richard Hart, who's having a lot of fun out there. All right, here we are. Peace out. Bye for now.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Pulsechain shirt on. Pulsechain ring. So, am I just talking or what? Am I live? I guess I'm just live. Hey, everybody. I hope the weather's nice and cool out there. I hear it's like 106 Fahrenheit. Kind of hot. I have been talking to devs a lot recently, and I guess the next thing you're going to see released on Pulse X is going to be the limit orders. Works fine in the private testnet. They're just going to push it to the main branch, and like you'll be able to test that soon. And the big thing that we're waiting on is consensus improvements. So because my devs are geniuses, they find bugs other people don't know about. So they know about bugs in BSC that nobody else knows about. They know about bugs in the click consensus mechanism, which Pirelli is based on, that nobody knows about. And so, you know, before we launch mainnet, we want everything to be right. And right now we have a pretty cool opportunity because the Ethereum guys finally got to market with something, or are close to getting to market with something, which is their Ethereum 2.0, which will now, once it happens, just be called Ethereum. They won't be called Ethereum 2. And it doesn't release new coins. You're not going to get a copy of your coins on Ethereum 2. It doesn't improve costs. There's no extra throughput. There's no extra gas limit. There's no extra throughput per second. All it does is reduce issuance rate for Ethereum, which is bullish for all of crypto. You know, Ethereum's got half the market cap of Bitcoin. And if you don't have Ethereum miners dumping the price constantly and enriching power companies and hardware manufacturers at the cost of the environment and the price chart, well, that's great. And that's great for all of crypto. And it's also great for Pulsechain. In my mind, the two most important core concepts for Pulsechain are the Ethereum fees still high? Yes, they are. You know, I was looking earlier today, it's still $3 to send normal Ethereum. It's still, you know, 10 or 12 bucks to do a Uniswap transfer, et cetera. And that's during a bear market where, you know, Ethereum already dropped 85%. Bear markets tend to come to an end. So the last bear market only lasted 365 days. This one is going to last a little bit longer because people decided to destroy their balance sheets and buy a second. They didn't want to do the normal blow off top bubble chart. They wanted to do an extra double bubble. And this double bubble, well, it didn't work. Ethereum's capital liquidated, block, you know, Celsius bankrupt. Michael Saylor net negative, El Salvador net negative. Everybody, you know, all those guys losing money left and right. All the people that listen to me, well, they seem to have done much better. Called top of the day. You might have heard that before. So basically, with this merge that's coming up, assuming it goes well, which I hope that it does, They've got a lot of audits. They've done a lot of testing on it. Hope it goes well. It doesn't do anything but help Pulsechain. Fees are still high. Gas limits are still low. No one's building out extra capacity for Ethereum. No one's trying to reduce the Ethereum fees except us. And I guess maybe the ETH2 developers that someday in the future will eventually get around to sharding, which has been a dream of theirs for like as long as Ethereum's existed. I don't know, 6 years. And it's great. So it also helps with our consensus stuff, because a lot of stuff the guys did in ETH2 for consensus is useful for us and Pulsechain. And that's the only thing we're really waiting on. So, if you've used the testnet, which I consider to be the best game on the blockchain, hey, you like blockchain games? Guess what, guys? You get copies of all your coins in the pulsechain.com testnet. Go try them out right now. You can trade them back and forth. You can do, it's the same code. So you can do a lot of the same things. And everything else has been really good. Like PulseX, done tons of trades, tons of people doing buy and burns. I've heard nothing but good things about the testnet. So we're basically, because things have taken as long as they have, we're more secure. We're able to improve other projects if we want. Not sure we will. It's just funny. So in my mind, the two things people care about the most in Pulsechain are more coins, more throughput, lower fees. That's the primary value statement. And ETH 2.0 with this merge doesn't give you new coins, doesn't give you lower fees, doesn't give you higher throughput. And so our value proposition is totally clean. I like it. Everything's good. And then the less negative sell pressure on crypto as a whole from removing the miners having to get paid all the time is good for everything. Now, am I bullish on crypto? Not yet. Now remember, Hex ran up 60x versus Bitcoin the first time it dumped from 65K down 55%. So Hex can totally decorrelate from Bitcoin. I think it was kind of bad timing that it looks correlated now, because we had our own cycles, right? There were sacrifice phases. There was other things going on in our own cycles. And so I wouldn't be surprised if some point Hex started doing the same things it used to do, which is just overperforming like crazy. We'll see. I don't have a crystal ball. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, DRN research, etc. But even recently when you saw Bitcoin like break under 20K, which people are really hoping for, they don't like seeing Bitcoin under 20K. And then if you're a technical analyst, there's some things that say like support becomes resistance. And so, what used to be resistance is support in theory, old 20K top, now 20K quote bottom, but actually didn't hold a 20K bottom at all. Didn't respect that at all. Went down to 17.5, is now sitting at it was interesting. I saw the euro and Bitcoin and the S&P 500 all pumped today. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're correlated. So yeah, I think as long as Grayscale Bitcoin's at a 33% discount, which it is, and they hold 1% of all Bitcoin, and the Ethereum merge might be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I mean, we see lending people that are borrowing Ethereum for the merge, they're paying like 15% APY to do it. And so, there's some people interested in playing this merge game. And I think traditionally in crypto, buy the rumor, sell the new stuff is pretty common, And so with the risk that Bitcoin dumps due to either just not doing its 85% dump yet, which would put it at, a little bit under 11K, and the 33% discount on Grayscale BTC, which has been consistent. I mean, it's been there for months. And the Mt. Gox coins being released at some point. Those guys suck so bad. Just give us a date, guys. Just give us a date. Let's go. Stop screwing around, The comedy, that whole thing. And then we've got the Bitfinex coins they're trying to sell, which I think is like 94,000 coins or 84,000 coins or something. And then we've got Ross Ulbricht's coins, which I think is like 70,000 coins, somewhere between 54 and 74,000. Can't remember the exact number. I tweeted all these, so you can look these up. So we've got discounted Grayscale Bitcoin, which is 1% of all Bitcoin. We've got Mt. Gox, Bitfinex and the federal marshals probably selling Ross Ulbricht's coins because he signed off to let them do it to pay his restitution. And then normal cycle dump, right? And then maybe buy the rumor, sell the news for merge. So in my mind, it's the dream bottom would be the grayscale discount goes away. Some of those free coins that are going to get released by law, like the Japanese ones at Mt. Gox, or going to get dumped as a matter of law, which would be the Ulbricht ones of Silk Road fame. And then it's up in the air whether the Bitfinex ones will really get sold or not. You know, they might get refunded or they might get sold. Who knows? And there's, I think there was 94,000 coins there. You could look it up. So the dream would be those coins get dumped. Bitcoin's deficit to net asset value and grayscale disappears. And then it does its traditional 11K and pray 85% dump. That's been a nice bottom. And then if they raised interest rates, oh boy, that'd be nice too. Because as long as they keep doing quantitative tightening, QT, it pushes down the stock market pushes down Bitcoin, Bitcoin pushes down Ethereum. That's how it goes. And then I like this next cycle is going to be hilarious because with Pulsechain, you know, like look at the situation Bitcoin's in. Is there DeFi in Bitcoin? Comedically, no. Is there high throughput? Is there low fees? Is there a roadmap? Nope. Is there good anonymity? Nope. Now I was just talking to a lawyer today about the Tornado Cash situation. And this, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but he says that, you know, the sanction just addressed USDC, which means it could be the case that you can still use Tornado Cash using the ETH address. And as long as you're using IPFS to access the contract, you know, it seems like it should be okay. But if you mess this up, it's devastating. Don't mess it up. Be very careful. Get your own legal advice. You know, of the many things in this world that you want to toy with, sanctions are not one of them. The government takes them very, very seriously. So I would get legal advice from a lawyer before I did anything related to sanctions. So yeah, bear markets don't last forever, right? So if our top was, let's check the chart here, check the chat. So if we call the most recent local top, get on the daily here, in Bitcoin, if we call that November of 2021, and a year out would be, that's November 11th of November 10th of 2021. You know, that's 2 months from now. So if the bear market's only going to last 365 days, that's only 2 months and 4 days from now. Could happen, right? We could dump, make that firm bottom. And everyone else is thinking about this bear market. I'm thinking about the next bull market. As soon as we've got this consensus figured out, and I think we've got a good plan, as soon as this consensus is like executed and fixed on Pulsechain, it's going to be glorious. Imagine launching, imagine all these new people that get to buy a massive dip. So when I got into crypto, I didn't get to buy a massive dip. I got to buy the top. So I bought Bitcoin at 30, it went down to 2. I was down 93.5% to start. It was like, oh, well, this sucks. Then you just hold. Then it goes up to 1,200, and then it goes down to 200, and then it goes up to 20,000, then it goes down to 3, and then it goes up to 14, then it goes to 4, and then it goes to 69, and then it goes to 17. That's the history. So being able to have so many people, like perhaps the people at this conference, buying at rates that are, 10 times cheaper, like for instance, Hex dipped 95%. Well, golly, that's a good dip. I mean, you could get, if you buy 95% dip, you're getting 20 times the stuff for the same economic energy that a person that had bought previously did. So in theory, that greatly reduces your risk because you're getting so much more stuff. I don't know why in crypto everyone loves to buy tops and sell bottoms, but if you have the opportunity to buy bottoms, like some people bought the big payday dip, well, that was glorious. They did very well on that. Some people bought that $2 dip. I didn't. I just held. But had I been a lot smarter, buying a 90% dip on something that went up another 20,000 fold, yeah, actually went up another 34,500 fold from $2. So it's a lot. It's a lot of extra movement. 34,500x from the bottom of the dip. That was my introduction to Bitcoin. What else do we got going? I mean, some of you guys may notice there was a US credit card on-ramp available for Hex, which would be buytohex.com. What else? Yeah, really, we're kind of waiting for consensus. That's the majority of what we care about right now. And we also, you know, the documentary's done. So the highest of stakes documentary is complete, and they're just slapping the soundtrack on there now. So it's I hear a 40-piece orchestra. I'm not an expert on orchestras. I'm not, you know, I don't listen to too much orchestral music. I guess we all do if we watch movies, because it's very common in movies. And apparently everyone that's seen it likes it. So I think it's going to be awesome when that comes out. So let's see what next year might look like. Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex on the Ethereum network, Hex on the Pulse network, documentary out, incentive token out. Tell us more about the incentive token. I don't know. People probably provide liquidity to it, and that'll be its claim to fame. What's Dogecoin's claim to fame? As a JPEG. This still seems to be a mechanic that works in crypto. What else? Racking my head here. Oh, yeah, the wallet's coming along. Mr. Wallet developer is still building out the wallet, so that's coming along. Anything else? I think that's all I can think of.